So then, welcome to the stream. I'm just going to do a little tweak. I've just realised something. I'm very quiet and I know why. There we go. That's better. One moment. There we go. Right, that's better. So then, so today we're going to look at the Just Flight Arrow 3. Right, now I had this for X-Plane a long time ago and it was absolutely brilliant. I loved it for X-Plane. And so I got it for FS, obviously. It's not going to be as in-depth as an A2A plane, as we know. We all know that, who's into flight simulation. But anybody that's... it's not going to be... It's going to have a few more details than, say, a Carnado, or whatever you want, however you want to pronounce that bloody name, plane. So yeah, so we're going to have a look at it today, and we're going to have a little flight, hopefully. Now, I've loaded it in just to make sure that it's installed okay, but I've not actually flown it yet, so it's going to be interesting. Right, so we're on the main page at the minute of the FS, and I just want to react to something in my chat. So, Cooked, what do you mean? The logo bit is weird. The font is strange. You actually mean my logo that's at the top of the stream? I've always had that logo. Anyway, right. So obviously we've installed it. We've got the Just Flight arrow here, and I just want the reason why I didn't load straight into a flight was because we've obviously got liveries, and I just want to show you that there's so many. There's so many different types there. It still loads after a while. So that's quite a funky looking one. And then we've got that one and that one. So yeah, so it's quite a few. It's quite a few there. Now the one I've just chosen is just this one. I like this one. So we'll go back. Right, so we'll load into an airport. We'll go somewhere where it's good. Now, the airport that I'd like to go to is Barton. I can't remember the code. It's... damn it. Is it Barton? Manchester, that's the one. So we'll just do a short hop there. Now, flight conditions, I'm going to leave it as live, but when I look out my window at the moment, it's cleared up, actually. It's not too bad, but it was absolutely horrendous earlier with the rain and stuff. So I didn't want to... If we go in, it's absolutely chucking it down. We'll probably just change the weather conditions just to have a look a bit better. But then the winds are horrible today, as of last night as well. So let's click fly. Right, so I've had a brief look over the manual, and things, like obviously a GA plane is pretty most of the time. So because I flew it in the X-Plane 11, I'm probably going to make a few mistakes, but it's not a problem. We'll get through it. Now the stream might be a bit touch and go. In terms of frames and things, because I feel conference calls and things today. So, but we'll be as well. We'll check it out that night as well. Come and load. So the manual's good actually, but I won't jump into it just yet because obviously, I'll tell you what. Let's do that. Let's do that. So display capture. Let's jump into the manual. Right. So I'll start from the top because obviously, we'll just zoom out a touch so you can get to see maybe each page roughly. So I'll just skim through the manual. Lots of stuff here, lots and lots of good information. Introduction tells you about the plane, dimensions, all that good fun stuff, all the liveries that are available, how to install, uninstall if you ever want to, airframe, fuel system, electronic systems, vacuum system, pitot-static system, light-ins. Then it tells you about the airspeed indicator markings, which we kind of all know if you're into GA planes. The engine one's quite useful, but, you know, weight limits and stuff, all that, what it can be used for. Because it's got different GPS options, you can do all sorts with it. But, yeah. Landing gear now. This is interesting. This bit's interesting. And it might be something that we can have a look at. And it's loaded in. I can hear it in the background. But I'm going to ignore it because we're just going to carry on looking down here first. So engine controls and all that. It kind of gives you... It's as if you've never done flight sim before, which is a good thing because obviously not everyone has in FS, especially FS2020. Not everybody has. So we've got a panel guide, what all the different bits are on the panel, all the different pieces there, look, which is cool. And that just does that for all of it. Now, the one thing that it does have... Let's go. Missed it. I'm looking for the tablet, right? So there's a tablet. And maybe round here there might be a click spot or something, right? But I've not found it yet. And I'll explain that when we jump into the plane, I'll show you. If anyone's got the answer, please feel free to jump on in and tell me. Now, there's several GPS GPS units that you can select. This is one of them. So it goes through all of this information around that one, and then you've got some more radio functionality, autopilot functionalities, and then you've got like your operationals. And that's to do with your autopilot as well, and your radios and things, ILSs, checklists and stuff. Then you've got this electronic flight bag, and you've basically got like a tablet in front of you on the plane that you can select your different options, and we'll have a look at that in a moment. But somewhere there has to be a button that turns it off, and in the manual it doesn't actually say. It just says you can turn it off there, but it doesn't actually say. It doesn't. Oh, hello. Malware bytes. It doesn't actually say if you can hide the tablet, and you can, because I've seen it on the forum that you can, but the same person, someone else has asked the same question. How do you hide it? And it's not been answered yet, so I don't know either. So there we go. So we've got some interesting things here. We've got spark plug fouling, vapor locks, engine failure caused by low oil quantity. So that over time the engine will consume oil. So that's interesting. You have to refill the oil. Battery power. So it's got a few extra items that you don't normally get, which is quite useful, which is quite good actually. You kind of want that. It says how you can hide and display your yokes, but not the tablet itself, which is there. Look, you've got a co-pilot that you can turn on and off. And then it goes into a tutorial flight, which is quite cool, which we're going to skip over, just because we're going to skip it over there. Dum 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 dum. They're doing all like radio navigation, autopilot, all that kind of stuff. Approach and landings. Look, right. Then you get to your checklist, and this is where I'm kind of like leaving it, because I think I will just go through some of this checklist and have a look. Oh, okay. 1 minute. My Streamlabs is going a bit nuts with that. That is not a long message, so I don't know why that is. I apologise on that one. Let me have a look at that. Now, I've just got to explain that. I've recently swapped over from Nightbot to Streamlabs CloudBot, which does the same thing, but there's a lot of settings to do with like protection and things. What I'm going to do, I'm going to turn that off and I'm going to turn off. Let me have a look at that. So okay, right. So I've turned that off now. I've turned it off. It shouldn't show that anymore. Hopefully. Did I just save that? Yeah. Right. Hopefully it shouldn't do that now. It can be toggled using the. Oh, okay. Well, when I jump in, I'll have a look. I'll definitely have a look, and I appreciate that, J Flight or Scott. I'll just call you just Flight Scott. I'm guessing. I'm just going to call you Scott if that's okay. So here we go. We're going to have a look at this. We're going to follow these checklists. Unfortunately, I got to the manual, I got to the checklist, and I stopped. So we've got lots and lots of different useful information. Oh, emergency procedures. That's pretty cool. Icing. What to do with the icing? Yep. So we got cabin heat, pitot heat. So yeah, we can have a look at this, and obviously you got your credits and your copyright. But yeah, we'll have a look at this. We'll definitely have a look at this. So as I say, I've flown this in the X-plane, and I think the interesting thing is, let me just go back to main scene. Just zoom that in so I can see it myself on the other monitor. Right then. So here we are. We're in, and we're loaded. Yeah, no worries, Scott, mate. Cheers. Right, so normally with my sim, I don't know if it happens with everybody, but with my sim, it does normally lag a little bit when I load in initially, but then it calms itself down. So we're on board. We're inside. I'm just going to check the yoke actually moves everything, which it does, and my rudder pedals work. So the brakes as well. So I'm pushing the brakes at the minute. I can hear movement. I don't know whether they're meant to be animated, but I can hear movement. That's all good. Let's just have a look at what Scott was saying. So here's the electronic flight. I'm always going to call it a bloody board, but it's meant to be bag. Let me just stop my head from twiddling around so we can actually have a proper look at it. So you can set different states: ready for takeoff, ready for start, cold and dark. Now I always go cold and dark, so we're just going to click that button there, which we've done. And then you've got the oil quantity, so you can check that. That's going to go empty when you've done a few flights. And what we'll do a flight, and then we'll check that figure and see what happens when we get to Barton. It probably won't be a long enough flight to actually see any kind of difference really, but we'll definitely have a look. But on Monday night, when we do another stream using this plane, we'll do a longer flight and we'll see what happens. You've also got your battery. So I would imagine that when we've got the battery on without the... Oh, cheers for the follow. Thanks for the follow there. As we start up, before the engine started, the alternator can't charge the battery, right? So the battery's going to drain, and it'll be interesting to see, what happens with that. So we'll leave this up for now. We won't actually hide it. We've got disabled the co-pilot. We'll get there eventually when I get my words out, but let me just reset my view for a minute. So we've got co-pilot. There he is. I'm going to name him Lewis, okay? Lewis Bloom. I'm going to name him Lewis Bloom. Oh, yeah, the grass moves. But anyway, right, so there's Lewis Bloom. I'm going to turn him off, though, because I like looking out the window. But I think that's a good feature. I think that's pretty cool. I like that. We've also got auto fuel selector. Now, that's an interesting one. So the fuel selector... Let me just go down to here. So the fuel selector's just down... Oh, hello. I didn't mean to do that. Fuel selector's just down here. And obviously you've got your left tank, your right tank, and during flight, if you don't swap that, you'll end up having a level... Your centre of gravity will move and you'll basically start going to the side. Oh, hello. You'll start going to the side. So you got to keep swapping that during flight. But what that does is it actually... auto corrects the fuel switch, so you don't actually have to do it manually, but I'm going to turn that off. I'm assuming that red means off, so I'm going to leave that off. Okay. We've got the GPS. Now, I had a little mess with this, and yesterday I clicked through a few of these. So the 100s of this. Now, I like this setup, but I haven't got a clue how to use that. So for today, I'm going to leave that for today, and I might have a look at it another time. But you obviously got like your really nice radios and stuff. All the wear and tear. I love that kind of wear and tear stuff. It's not a brand new plane; it's a used plane. I like that. Not everyone likes that, but I like that. So we're going to go for the cheaper option, not the 530, because you got the big 530 there, which is pretty cool. But we're going to go for the 430 instead. No, let's spoil ourselves. Let's go 530. Yeah, why not? So we've got save state as well, so you can click that, and it will obviously save all the bits as much as it can. HSI enabled, so that's to do with the instrument panel down here. Yeah, so I quite like the HSI, so we'll leave that on. Yokes, now you can turn the yokes off like that, but as well as that, you can click a click spot down here that will turn it on and off, so that's all very useful. What else we got? Chocks. So outside we have some equipment. So we've got tow bar, we've got tie downs and chocks. At the minute, our tie downs and chocks are outside, and they are on. So let me just whoops. So there's the chocks and there's the tie downs, and the detail of this thing is just really cool. I've always loved the Just Flight arrow and the details. Right, so where were we? Me moving my head around and making everyone feel sick. Apologies. So let's remove the chocks. Let's remove the tie downs because we're going to start going. We can open doors, so we can go cabin door. Let's just zoom out a bit. We've got baggage door. Now that's on the outside, and oil door. Now oil door's just on the front there, so you can see that pop up. So we'll close that. We've also got, if we just snip round, baggage door and the main door. So yeah, we're good there. So we'll close these because we are going to go for a flight. So that's the flight board, and you can turn that off like that if you don't want that blaring in your face. And according to Mr. Scott, let's have a look. So it toggled using the comm switch. Comes on the right instrument panel. That one. Nice. I like it. Right, so let's leave that off because that's nice. And you've got all this wear and tear again. I mean, there are cockpit variations which can turn that. It can have a clean cockpit. I think they provided both. I think this is where I'm going to get the arrow and the turbo arrow mixed up in terms of previews. So apologies on that. Right, so let's get this thing started. So my rudder pedals do work, yeah. Right, I'm just going to check a few things before we go because I use FS2020 and I'm just checking all my controls are actually as... Oh, didn't mean to do that. Right. Yeah, that's fine. So everything is good. Right, okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to fully push forward both of those, and we're going to select our tank. Now, the fuel... Have I turned fuel off up here? Why have I done that for? I do not know. Interesting. Anyway, fuel. Let's just crank it. Let's just go really heavy, right? And let's select the fuel. So the fuel's on the left, and because I'm on the left, and we haven't got a co-pilot, I'm going to stick with the left for now. I assume that down here we've got some fuel gauges. So there's the fuel gauges. What I'm noticing, so that fuel gauge is down there, and fuel pressure, which is good. All temperatures and things down here, amps. So when the battery's charging, that's going to be up there. We've got suction as well. Yeah, it's looking all good. Right then, so let's look at the lights now. Well, let's start her up first, yeah? So I'm quite curious. That's all the zeros. Look, let's get some mileage on this. So first of all, battery on. Okay. So we can hear the battery spooling up, which is pretty cool, like that. We're also going to put the beacon on. We should have put the beacon on before we hit the battery, but... Right, so we've got power. Now we crack the throttle a little bit. And we put that full, now that we're on the way. And what we do is we fuel pump. We get fuel pressure, and when that moves there, turn it off. And that should have primed the engine, right? And then we use the magnetos to do start. And it should, once it starts, flick back to both, which it does. Now what I did notice was, if I was to put the throttle fully idle, right, the plane idles above 1,000. And I'm not sure whether that does or not in the real one, but if you leave the mixture full, you're gonna ruin your spark plugs, right? You're gonna foul your plugs. So you got to lean the mixture. We'll put that on to standby. Now, while that's oil temps are still quite low, so I'm guessing we've got to warm this thing up. We've got oil pressure, which is good. And we'll start looking at lights. Now, the lights are... I'm just going to move this back a touch. Now, we need to put the alternator on, otherwise the battery won't be charging. So we've got suction. That's good. Now, the nav lights are actually on this, right? So you just click it like that, and that's your nav lights. So if I just nip outside, so your green and red lights is that switch, but you can also continue to turn it, which you can't actually see at the moment. Oh yeah, it's this. So if it was night time, that would also act. If you watch them letters there, can you see how they go bright? It also acts as like night lighting. But you just want to unclick it, and that'll be your nav lights, because we're in the daytime. We don't need to worry about that. Obviously, we spoke about fuel pump. We spoke about, well, we haven't spoke about landing lights, but we've got landing lights, pitot heat. These are actually the lights for the for the instruments. And your anti-collision is your strobe. So there we go. So that's that. We're in, and we are moving. Now, for the fun of it, I'm just going to turn... I'd like to turn this on. Okay. That's not turned on, but... If I just... Oh well, I'm just going to leave that for now. I can look at the radio systems another day, it'd be quite fun, but yeah, we've got 7,000 plugged in because we're going to do a bit of VFR. So there we go, let's zoom in and let's have a look at... let's make sure that's full. So the oil temperatures increased slightly. It's in the green, so we're good. Let's discuss this bit. So we've got this white arc here that is going to be the flaps. The gears will come down just before there. And we're landing... Our approach is going to be about 85, 80. And we're going to land at around about 75, 70 touchdown, I think. So that's the thing. Now, I did say I was going to follow the checklist, but I completely haven't. So... Let me just see where we've got to with the checklist, and then we'll have a look. Right, so okay. So actually, we before takeoff, right? So okay, let's just have a little. Let's go on a little mission then. Let's go on a little mission. Let's taxi to the runway and take it from there. So we got the. Let's cut this guy in half. I hate them bloody people in yellow jackets when you don't want to do a pushback, you know. Now I've got to say, I mean, I'm quite happy with the my left brake and my right brakes work quite nice. Currently the rudder is working really smooth in this plane, and I know a lot of the default planes the rudder is absolutely horrible, but in this one it's quite nice. It's quite nice. I might need to up my sensitivity a little bit, but right, so let's just whoa, hello, let's just park it there for a minute. Parking brake on. Right, so now we need to do our run up. So parking brake is set, propeller fully forward, throttle mixture should be fully forward as well. That's not in the manual, but for the ground check. Throttle up to 2000 RPM. Where's my RPM lever down here? So we're looking at this down here, getting that up to 2000 or thereabouts. I mean, the sound looks amazing. Magnetos, so what we're doing, we're turning this and we're just looking for the drop, which it hasn't dropped too much, and again not too much. Perfect. I'll have a look at that curry as well. I'll have a look. We'll have a look. All temperatures perfect, all in the green. All pressures are in the green. Fuel pressure in the green. Okay. Exercise the propeller, and it should go back up to 2000, which it does. Thanks for the follow, Snare. Cheers. Thanks for that. Right, so that'll do. So then we'll go back to idle. And we're good. Right, so before takeoff checklist. What we do need to do now, because I don't use, I'm not on like VATSIM or anything at the moment, I'm just going to cheat and press B for the altimeter. Right, let's press F for that. Right, so we're good. Fuel pump needs to be on. Now, this is where I'm going to get confused because there's a landing light and there's a fuel pump. Anti-collision is going to be on. Okay, everything is ready for takeoff. Right. So you can hear the fuel pump pumping away there. So let's just have a little external view before we head out. So I might have to change the weather because the wind is absolutely shocking today in the UK. So I am going to change the weather just because of the wind. But we're still good for scattered clouds or something like that. The wind is shocking, right? Right, I'm just going to grab a screenshot of that because I'm going to use that for my stream preview, which we like to do. So I'll just drop that there. Perfect. Right, so there we go. We've got the strobes going, we've got the nav lights going, the engines going. I should have leaned my mixture when I was sat here doing nothing. Right, let's release the parking brake, pull ourselves onto the runway. So Kirby, there might be a reason for that because of the centre of gravity. Because if you haven't got weight on the right hand side, but you're a pilot on the left hand side, it might bank to the left because obviously you are extra weight to the left of the plane. Right? It could be uneven fuel as well. So check your fuel quantities. But it's all to do with central gravity as well. So we're lined up to the runway. We check our compass because obviously we like that. And we are going there, so that's good. Accelerate to 75, not 65 to 75, and then we'll pull back, which is fine. Climb, best rate of climb is 90, but we're in between 78 and 90 on the climb. And then we'll go. Right, so let's head up. Should have put that on as well, but we didn't. Well, I didn't. So maximum throttles. And then 75, pull back. Gear up. So just going to move the... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, why did it do that for? I do not know. Right, let's move the RPM down a bit. That's another thing. I flew yesterday in Bristol and plan was everywhere with the wind. I bet it was. I really can't do that while I'm flying. Right. Let's just make sure that we're not overly doing the bank angle there. Nice. So today I'm using the fulcrum yoke as well. I can't show you the yoke obviously. But I've got a video on my YouTube channel if you fancy joining that and having a look. Feel free. But yeah, it's feeling good so far. Now the thing is, going through the checklist, I haven't actually looked at the settings for the power settings, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a little look up the manual and just see if I can spot the cruise settings for on the tutorial flight. But we're good so far. We're climbing. I won't be a moment, just have a look at this manual. Just have a look at this manual. So, I mean, you're always going to pull slightly because there's a little bit more weight on the left-hand side of the plane. But literally, I've got hands off, and we are pretty level. Yeah. Still trying to find this this tutorial flight. There we go, tutorial flight, getting started, all that jazz. Keep going, keep going. Let's have a look. Right. Get in there. I just want to see what the climb. It doesn't actually tell me, I don't think. Let me have a look. I thought it would. So we can turn off the fuel pump now. So we don't need that on. Just got to make sure that we've still got fuel pressure, which we have. Let's just fly it. I'm going to fly it as I can look at the the power settings, you know, later on. Right, so let's go 1,500. Let's just trim that out a little bit. Let's reduce the RPMs down to about 2.2. The manifold pressure can be 2.0 or round about there. That'll be fine. And we'll have a look outside. Wow, the sound is just amazing. Do you know what? Let me just have a look at something. Because if I turned off the landing light, not the fuel pump, does that mean that's on or off? Maybe it's because I'm... The landing light's not on, but I think it's because it's just so light out here. So yeah, it's looking good at the moment. I'm happy with it. I just need to tweak the settings in terms of the yoke. So I'm just wondering, if I do a live pause, does my yoke still turn? Yeah. So I just want to have a look at something. Right. So the good thing about this yoke is, someone asked me this actually in my previous stream. So this yoke will turn 180 degrees, right? So normally the yokes that you buy from the shops or whatever, they'll go to about 45, right? They'll go to probably about there like that. But in the Piper Arrow 3, the yoke actually does that. Now my physical yoke that I'm using at the moment does that. It just I think I just need to tweak the sensitivity settings slightly for this plane, because as I'm turning, it's not turning as much as what my real yoke is doing, so I need to sort that out. But we'll get to that. Let's go back into the flight. Here we go. So what else can we look for? So yeah, I mean, this is brilliant. I'm actually got a half decent plane, you know. It's like, I might set up my view a little bit better, but so we're going on a little mission here, but go on a little trek. Actually, I don't know whether I'm going in the right direction or the wrong direction, but either way, we're going in this direction. No, we are going in the right direction now. I have actually got a cup of coffee, but I didn't start drinking it, you know. I'm there like, oh, I'm chatting away, and my coffee's going cold, so. Oh, it's so good. And what is really cool about this with Just Flight's add-ons as well is they come with paint kits. And everyone who knows my stream and who have been around on the stream for a while now, the paint kit, I like to create my own stream paint. So I'm gonna hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe work on that and do that. You see, the last time on X-Plane, I actually did have the Arrow 3 and the Turbo, and I think at the time, I actually did pay full price for both of them. But they are very similar planes. They are very similar. So I don't know whether, with the discount, I think I probably would. But I think in the main, Me personally, I will always fly this one. So we have got autopilot, and this does have, if I remember rightly, it does have, like, there's a button down here, there's a which kind of does an altitude hold, I think. I think that does an altitude hold. What we'll do as well, we'll just... we'll do a heading hold as well. Whoa, hello. We'll do a heading hold. So we'll click that on, and we'll click the autopilot on. Now I don't use autopilot that often, so this is oh no, I don't think it's worked. Has that worked? No. Oh, I know. Why has that not worked? Have I got a setting? It will be me. Oh, okay. So now I've clicked that. Is that actually... my microphone's getting in the way of my head tracking software as well, which does not help. So we're going up and down, fluctuating a little bit. Does that mean it's on, or does that... I should really read the manual, shouldn't I? Nobody does that. Well, I don't do that. Unfortunately, I've closed the bloody manual now as well, but either way, I don't mind. I just thought I'd click around and have a look. That's all part of the fun, but yeah, if I wanted to learn it properly, I probably would just... Okay, so I actually think with that in, is now holding the altitude, I think. If I turn heading on and off, why is that not actually... That's interesting. Oh well. I'll manually fly it. It's more fun. And I'll read the manual. It's probably user error completely. Now, apologies if the stream's a bit stuttery in terms of losing frames. My wife is working from home today, and I don't normally stream during the day because obviously I'm normally working myself. But today I thought I'd jump on and have a little go, have a crack. Oops. There we go. So it's very cool. I love the sounds. The sounds when you go behind the propeller, and it's really cool. Very nice, very smooth. Now the proof will be in the puddings of the landing. So the interesting thing is, I'm not actually going. I'm not actually going very fast, and I've not got flaps down. I've not got my brakes on. I've not got anything going on that shouldn't be going on. Whoops! Didn't mean to do that. It could... there's no wind. Maybe it's just my manifold pressure. I've not got it cracked up. I should really... I'll have a look at the performance tables as well, because I generally fly between 2,000 3,000 feet most of the time. So I'll have a look at the power settings for between 2,000 and 3,000. But so far so good. I'm loving the texturing. I love the textures of the plane. It's all like these extra features as well, but which that'll be like your night lighting. I love the lighting on that. What we'll do is when we stop at Barton, I'll have a look at the lighting as well. So we're just 10 nautical miles out of Barton at the moment. I've never landed at Barton. I've took off from Barton. I've never landed at Barton. So that's going to be interesting experience for us all. I don't know what the runways are at Barton either, which doesn't help. So we're going to be doing some hours on this. I've got the Sky Park Skypad as well, which I'm going to be using this plane for to do some contracts. That's going to be fun. We'll definitely do some more just VFR general aviation. I'm tempted as well, which I might not do on stream for the first time. I want to get used to the plane quite a lot, but I'm tempted to go on VATSIM and start doing some circuits and some VFR in and out of the zones and things. It'd be quite cool. But, you know, you've got things like, you know, your light shading, you know, just little features really. I need to move my mic because it keeps interfering with my head tracker. I don't want to click that button. I've got a funny idea that that button is gonna open that door, so I'm not going to do that. Right, let's start just descending down to start reducing the manifold pressure slightly. Now we might go over Barton just to see. Just see what where the runways are. I mean, to be honest, I could just have a look at the runway situation right now. So I'm just going to open up a little nav map. Hopefully it doesn't crash my sim. I didn't put it on because I didn't think I'd need it, but actually I think I'll put it on. We'll have a look. See if I can find Barton. Right. Further up. There's Barton. Show information. So, runways. We've got a runway, a grass runway heading. What's the biggest? Doesn't really matter. They're both roughly the same. So it depends on the wind. We haven't got any wind, so we can choose what we want. So what we'll do is we'll go for runway 26 left, or 26. Oh, okay. So there's two runways next to one another, I think, by the looks of it. So 26 is going to be our runway heading. So what I like to do is I like just to move the heading bug to the runway heading thereabouts like that. And then at a quick glance you can see that we're obviously going in the wrong direction, but that's a good thing because what we'll do is we'll go over Barton and we'll be able to see the runway. I'm just going to move this down and across. Hopefully you can still hear me. Right, so 1,500 feet now. I think we'll stay around about there. We'll just increase the manifold pressure a touch. So now we've just got to look out for Barton. So it's next to the river, I think. What we'll do is we'll try and get Barton on this side at my window this side. Now, the thing is with a low wing aircraft is obviously you haven't got the view outside so much. Right, so there we are. There's Barton, just out the window. So what we're going to do is we're going to go just further out of there, and then we'll turn it around and hopefully land on runway 26 left. Hopefully. That's the plan. Let's just grab another outside view just while we're here. I want to do a screenshot. Right, let's have a look then. So let's start reducing manifold pressure. My head tracking software is really doing my head in today. It's not the microphone, it's the I think my sensor's moved and I'm gonna have to move it back, but we'll be okay once we turn. So actually this is not quite right. So if that's 12 and we're not on 12, that's for that. How do we it's interesting. I'll have to figure out how to adjust that as well. It might have drift, but I'm not sure. Alright, so we're kind of going really far out now, so let's start trucking back. Yeah, I definitely have to just adjust the sensitivities of the joist, of the yoke, which I'll try and do off stream, because at the minute it's not sensitive enough. So I'm not expecting this landing to be very, very good. So apparently we're currently downwind, but right. So let's just head that way, where we're going to be heading to almost on the base leg. And I've lost Barton. This is the thing with I think Barton's a bit further up. This is the thing with FS2020 is like the grass runways and the grass fields are so hard to find, you know. Right, so we're going to go prop full. Gears can now come down. There we go. So a little view of the gears coming down. Nice. Definitely losing altitude and speed there, which is good. We'll drop a load of one notch of flaps just while we're on the base leg. And I think I can see there's Barton. Okay, so we're going to slow it right down just to 85. Morning, Mark. How you doing, mate? The skies are good. I got a new plane. We're flying. And it's great. So we're going to go full flaps now. Got to give it more beans because I'm completely going to drop out of the sky. There we go. Right, slow this down a touch. 2.6 left is what we want to kind of aim for. Slow this down a touch now. How are you then, Mark? Are you good? And we want to touch down not very centered, but just flare up a little bit. That's it, flaps up. And we'll just roll it out a little bit. Tap the brakes. Nice. I think because of the sensitivities of my yoke, I think well, we'll lean the mixture. We'll just get off the runway. I don't know where we taxi from Barton, but I'm going to taxi over here. Now I would do another flight. Unfortunately, I have actually got a work meeting at 11 o'clock that I've got to prep for as well. So I've got to just have a little. I'm going to mosey down straight from here. Let's turn off the anti-collision lights, which I think were them ones. Fuel pump's fine. Okay. We'll taxi over to the main. You've never seen me land? I sent you a video of me landing on the aircraft carrier, didn't I? But yeah, on this, you've never seen... That is true, actually. You've never seen me land, have you? So... No, I don't know Barton at all. So I'm just going to head in that general direction. As I say, I've taken off from Barton. I've just never actually... Right, let's just go over there. Park it up over here. They've done a brilliant job on Barton. FS2020 have. Right, I'm just going to dump it here. We'll just put the parking brake on. And then what we're going to do is just turn off some of the avionics. Turn off the landing lights and that, and then set the mixture, the throttle to idle, and then we'll also pull back the mixture, and there we go. And then you'll hear the battery spool down, which is pretty cool. Oops, that's good. Now we didn't actually, thinking about that, we didn't actually do the fuel. Let me just have a look at that for a minute. So we've got full tanks. Why have we got full tanks for? Got like unlimited fuel or something. Oh well, I'll have a look at that as well. That's pretty... Other than that though, it flies really well. Now let's have a look at something different. So we'll do that. Whoops. And what we'll do is we'll also... Yeah, it's good to see you. I can't read your name. Unfortunately, my window is... I might need to change the settings because I can't actually see your name. BWC, is it? Let's have a look. Yeah, BWC. Well, it's good to see you too, and thanks for joining. And yeah, let's say I normally fly GA stuff. I don't fly the big tube liners, unfortunately. Well, no, unfortunately, I choose not to. So if you like general aviation with a just flight arrow, this is where it's going to be at. So, trying to stop my head from moving, people. There we go. Right, so then we're going to want to put the chocks on and the tie downs. And there we go. So the interesting thing is the battery volts is cool. That was okay. The oil quantity remains the same. So the battery has gone down a little bit. There was something else that I was going to look at, wasn't there? There was the fuel. But I don't know why. I don't know why it's not got... I don't know why the fuel wasn't... don't know why the fuel didn't take any fuel then, but yeah, there we go. So we're down, we're tied down, and we're all at Barton, and I cannot wait to take this plane up again. I really cannot wait. It's going to be so good. Just grabbing a screenshot of that. But yeah, so cool, so cool, great plane. I knew I wasn't going to be disappointed. Because I've had a lot of just flight planes over the years with FSX and P3D, and an X-plane as well. So I had this in X-plane. Yeah. So yeah. Well, cheers for the company. Cheers for the flight. I'm now going to rock and roll. I might do another stream later if I can, if I get a chance later on this afternoon. But I've got a few things that I need to do before then. So yeah, take care, have a good day, and if I don't see you before, come and join me on Monday evening at 7:30 on the evening, GMT, so British time, and I'll take this baby out again. See you all, take care, and thanks for joining.